Welcome to Blossoming Marriage Academy, an initiative of Royal Life Springs, and the organization has members who are passionate about seeing families and marriages thrive and blossom. My name is Masi Munene, and I will take you through this, an interesting topic. But before that, let's have our members introduce themselves.
Thank you, Masi. My name is Jacinta Njehia. I'm a mother of 4, grandmother of 1, and I'm a marriage and family therapist, and I'm married to one Stephen Njehia.
Nice, thank you.
Yes, and my name is Janet Benson. I'm married to Benson. We have 2 children. I am trained in psychology and I am passionate about families.
My name is Edna Chawia. I'm married. I have 4 children. I am a psychologist and I'm happy to be here.
Thank you very much. Today we are graced with 4 very beautiful women, and they'll get to share with us their experience in this interesting topic of friendship. You know, when you think about friendship, it looks like a very broad topic, and yes, it is. But now when you come down to it, you realize that initially you used to have friends, and now over the course of life, we have changed friends, we have gotten more friends, we have gotten less friends, and in our experiences, I would like to know, how has it been for you? Probably I will start with Jacinta. How has it been for you when you were married, when you were single? What does friendship mean to you?
That's a very good question. Of course, when I was single, I had my own friends, my girlfriends mainly, and I did maintain most of them, but there were challenges because I remember one of them would call me, and every time they called me, because they were not married, I would have my son who was very crybaby all the time. So Julieta said to me, and God rest her soul, she said to me, Jacinta, I won't be calling you. Every time I call you, your baby is crying. And again also, there were others, every time we met, we were talking about my house girl. I'm a house girl. So of course that was very difficult because they were in a different space. They were not married and I was married. But interesting, there are some of those ladies who are not married even today who are still good friends. I also made new friends when I got married. Inherited some friends from my husband's friends who are now married, who became my friends, and I also made new friends in this space of being a married wife. So it was an interesting transition that, you know, there are some who remained, but there were some that was difficult to interact because now you're talking about different things, you know, and you're not available as you used to be before because now you have a family, you have children, and you have a husband. And sometimes not all friends will fit in and become your husband's friends. So there are also other friends that remain your friends, others that integrate and become family friends, and others that you shed off. I guess that's life, as you make new ones.
Whoa, yes. Interesting. Janet, how has it been for you?
Yeah, it's similar to Jacinta's. When I was a single lady, I had friends, and some of them actually even participated in my wedding. But I realized once you get married, your schedule changes. You know, there are demands on you now because you have a husband, and so you have to align your schedule with his. And so the time we used to have to go hang out by Black Forest, and we go to the supermarket. A particular friend of mine who just wants to go buy chocolates in the supermarket. We go and buy chocolate and eat. And once I got married, first of all, we went and lived somewhere far. So they wouldn't actually come to see me. So they came once, and then then later I got a job. Then they also moved on. They, I think, enrolled for masters. So our schedule started looking very different, and it became difficult for us to keep flowing together. So at that point, I started making other friends. So in church, I met new people because I had to move to the church where my husband was going. So I had my other friends in the other church. So I had to start making new friends in my new church. And then I had to have other friends in the neighborhood. where I moved when we got married. So you find the older friends, we are still friends, we had no fights, but just because our schedules are not the same, our interests have changed.
Yeah.
You realize our conversations, like she was saying, like Justina was saying, our conversations are different. They're probably talking about things to do with their lives as single ladies, but I feel that my conversations are more interesting when I talk about life as a wife. So we have no place where we meet and talk about something more, interesting for both of us, you see. So it happened like that. But it's also interesting that when some of them now got married, our paths met again.
Oh.
And so we started.
Finally.
Yes. We started now having those conversations, because this is your friend. So when they're getting married, they invite you. Oh yeah, I'm getting married. Come to my wedding. So we're excited. And then you start again, because now you have common things to talk about. They're talking about a husband. You're talking about a husband. After a short time, they have a child. So you have child conversations.
You start comparing
Yes.
notes.
And then you are consulting each other on house girls, home management. So now that friendship becomes richer, because you have common topics of discussion, and it becomes fun. Yes, but some of them just went. We didn't come back together. We didn't fight. It just that life changed for all of us.
Isn't it so unfair? For both sides, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
How has the experience been,
How
Edna?
was my experience? Maybe I'll start further back. I try to think about friendship. I think I have different clusters of friends.
Tell us more about it.
Yeah, based on what brings us together. I realized that growing up, I had friends, but I just had friends because we were in school together. Yeah? Because for some reason, most of those friendships I was unable to maintain beyond high school. For example, even beyond primary school. Most of those friendships I was unable to maintain beyond primary school. And the reason why I bring that up is because I've realized there's a shift with the current generation. They have friends, they've had best friends for years. Since nursery school, which I find very interesting. That's a new dynamic that I didn't have the privilege of experiencing. So I realized that my friends from primary school were my friends because we were in primary school together. When we moved to different high schools, season change, which is exactly what they are talking about, most of those friendships fell through. So I had very good friends in high school. I also think that was also because we were in high school together, So we finish high school, people get different grades, go to different parts of the world, and most of those friendships fell through as well.
True.
So I realized currently the people, then I went to campus. In campus, I got friends. That's when I think I found, I was able to define friendships, because I have people who've been in my life since campus who are very good friends. But they are not all the same. Yeah, they are friends who I know from different angles. They're friends who could have been friends because we were doing the same course. There are those who became my friends because we shared the same faith and were going to see you together. So if we found a joining factor beyond campus, then it became easy to maintain those friendships. But for those we never found a joining factor, like the ones who may have left the country and all, I wouldn't say we are friends. I wouldn't say we are friends. We are still friends. We were friends. But I don't think of ourselves as actively friends currently. So your season changes and you get married. Oh, then there are the friends we had in church, because we were all going to the same church, we were in drama together. Now, then I got married and moved churches, because now I sort of went back to where I used to be. I had moved away from my original church when I was in campus. Then I got married to someone who... My parents laugh at me every day saying they finally got someone to bring me back home. Anyway, it's a running joke within my home. But basically, so I realized I have friends who I used to be in church with, but we're not as tight as we were then. At that time, we'd spend lots of time together because of everything we were doing around church. But when that season also shifted, those friendships fell through. So for me, what I'm realizing even about, then I have a few friends who've been consistent because we've sort of changed, but they're very few. We've moved into different seasons together. Why? Met in campus, maybe shared faith, moved into family life together, still have common places that we meet or common points of joining factors, and we maintained those friendships, you know. So my take would, I think, honestly, I have not struggled. My friendships don't linger. I don't struggle to let go.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
There was something interesting I read. I was reading a book on friendship, and they were saying when we were younger, when we were in primary school, our friendships were so simple. As simple as, I like your hair, I become your best friend because you like that I like your hair. We like this ice cream, and we become best friends because of ice cream.
Yes.
Right now, as we grow older, the dynamics change from marriage to traveling to campus. So for many people, the most friendships they have had are for people, the friendships they had when they were in campus or in their workplace, as opposed to what we had when we were in grade school, simply because as we moved along the ranks, the dynamics change. The friendship has to get deeper. It has to go beyond liking your hair. And I think that is how it is for marriage. You know, the first time we met, I liked your hair, I liked your figure, or I liked this thing about you. But now even to maintain friendship in marriage can be tricky, can't it? What do you do to maintain a friendship? Janet?
Yeah, you see, one of the things that a person can do is, now that you're married, and you know your friend could be out there not married or married, just be the one to reach out if you want that friendship to go on. And in this case, you would want to keep that friendship going on, you know, because there is nothing that should make you not go on because you changed status, or you know, you've moved to a career that is not related to this other person. So there are many different reasons why, you know, friendships change or end, not because there is a fight, but for you to keep this one going, I think you can be the person who reaches out, you can be the person who calls you know, how are you doing? Because like the friends I'm saying, we were close at some point, and then I changed status, and they moved on with their lives and moved on with mine. Then they also later got married. Some of them, we never really came back.
Yeah.
But you know what? We're still friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
Send a messenger. I say, you know, on Messenger, just tell them how you're doing. And you realize probably they will be in Nairobi, because some of them went out of Nairobi. Maybe that time when I'm sending this text, they Nairobi. And we can exchange numbers in case we lost each other's number. You know, you can call each other for a date. It's been a while. Let's just go and have coffee. I know, well, you know, this season restaurants close and then they open now they're open.
I know, right?
So and hang out. And you know what? One thing I have realized is, if you have not seen somebody for so long, you have a lot to talk about. You don't even want to part ways.
I know.
You know, even if you have, because now they will tell you how they moved on in their lives. You're also telling them how your life has changed. Oh, you have how many kids? Oh, I have 5. Oh, no, me, I just have 1. You know, it just becomes interesting to have conversations about, yeah, so you changed careers. Oh, no, you resigned from employment. Oh, you did this and that. So it becomes a very enjoyable moment with this person, even if you have been away from each other for a long time. But it takes somebody to start it off. So it has to take me, if I want to maintain that relationship, it has to take me to take the first step.
Interesting.
Friends, yes.
Now bringing it back to the friendship in marriage.
Or in marriage.
I believe that we all got married to our friends, or rather at some point we were friends. What do you think changed in marriages so that now you hear the best of friends? Do you know people like in campus who used to see you guys together and they would say, you guys, you look so good together, you're such a good match, you need to get married. and then you say, oh yeah, we need to get married, and you actually get married, then something changes.
Yeah.
What happens around that, Jacinta?
Well, I'm already thinking in vernacular because there's a saying in English that says friendship is it's interpreting it in English is like you have to cultivate that friendship. And so if it is not tended to, it will definitely not thrive. It will definitely not last. So the things that we used to do then when we were friends, are we continuing to do them? Are we neglecting that which we used to do? And sometimes you hear people saying when people are dating, it's okay. Once they get in, one can become like a piece of furniture. And
So true.
What are we doing? Because if we don't do anything, we have this thing called intentionality is very key in very many aspects, very many areas, particularly in marriage. So if, like before when we were friends and dating, I used to call you and tell you, you know what? I've left work. I'm now on my way home. I get home, I call you, and I've started to cook. And you do the same, you update me. Then when I get married, I call you and you tell me, why are you calling me? Why are you calling me? I am at work. You see these things, if they are not continuing, again, I like saying, about through research, something called love maps. You have to know what's going on for the other person for this friendship to continue. What are the struggles? What are the dreams, the aspirations? You cannot read somebody's mind. They have to tell you, I'm late at work, I'm running late. So what went wrong is that we didn't continue doing the things that we were doing. We neglected that relationship. And it will not automatically, because you are married, because you are Mrs. So-and-so, it's not automatic that you become friends. These things don't flow in our blood because we are married. You have to be very intentional. You have to keep that bond, communication. Let me know, imagine packing your bags and going to work, wherever. I don't know where you are staying. I don't know which flight you are taking. I don't know how long you will be there. I don't know in what hotel your seminars will be. You can imagine. And I'm your spouse.
It can be frustrating.
It's frustrating. So these things have to be intentional. We have to do things intentionally to keep that friendship going. Otherwise, when we neglect it, and again, let me put a caveat here. It's not a one-person thing. Because if I ask you and you don't tell me, am I going to get any results? No. So it's a two-way thing. So to keep this friendship bond going, there has to be two people who are intentional and who are also committed to the relationship and not committed to the relationship for it to last. It is committed to it for it to thrive and to last. Because it can last, but it is
it's true.
It is survival. It's not thriving. So two people who are intentional about being committed to this relationship and not only committed for it to last till death do you part, to also be a place of joy. A place where people can, I like saying word blossom because I always imagine a flower that is a place where my spouse is blossoming, children are blossoming because the environment is right. So what stopped is that we stopped doing the things that we were doing before. But all is not lost. If we realize we stopped and we want to go back, we can go back. But unfortunately, if we don't want to go back, that marriage or relationship is dead alive.
It can be frustrating to live with someone after so many years and then you don't have a relationship going because the guy says, Betty, I already got my catch. I think men are normally driven by a desire for something, conquest.
Yes.
After he has conquered, now I need to have my food cooked, I need to have my baby taken care, I need a clean house, but now they're also not doing their part. I think it's something that you have brought it very well, that we both need to be intentional about our...
It's mutual, yeah.
Yeah.
It's really mutual. It can't be one way.
Very interesting. And Edna, let me ask you, is there any place that girlfriends or women friends or men friends play in a marriage setup?
I think they do. I think
Tell me more.
I think female friends can make or break a marriage.
Ooh.
Yes, male friends can make or break a marriage. I think it works both ways. I think we listen when we get married. We really listen to everyone's opinion and struggle to listen to each other's opinions.
Exactly.
You know, so if we have friends who don't necessarily have our best interest at heart, our marriages will suffer. Case in point, umekaliwa chapo. So you go to a male meeting with your friends and they are telling, Kwani, you're calling your wife? Why are you calling her to tell her where you are? Kwani, she has to know everything about you. Kwani, you know, Kwani, something must be wrong. Why are you letting that woman rule your life? Or you go to a session with your girlfriends and they go like, yeah, you mean he did all that? And you did nothing? And you're still sleeping with him? What is wrong with you? Kwani, these things just give them for free. My friend, let me tell you.
This is how it happens.
This is how we do things. You know, if you want a car, lie on your back. If you want, so basically, at the end of the day, they teach you to either be manipulative or they teach you to bully each other. Gradually, you lose each other's voices in that marriage. Because you can't hear when your spouse is... I joke in session and I tell couples, when your wife is calling you to ask you, where are you? She's actually not saying what she wants to tell you. She's telling you,
That's right.
It's 10 p.m. I'm worried about you. And I miss you. I don't feel safe in the house. Are you on your way home? Yeah? Or anything. You're getting. When your husband is one of the very good examples of things men do. Your husband buys you gifts.
Yeah.
But then he goes all out in the middle of a fight. He apologized yesterday for something he did a month ago and he finally comes with this really big gift, like a car. What he's telling you is...
Nice.
I know, yeah?
I think I can tell him exactly what the type, the make, the color.
But think about it. Can you guarantee you will not fight with him or be upset with him for the next 1 week?
No.
That's the thing. A part of him is trying to reassure you of his commitment to you, but he's not necessarily using the words. What you desire to hear is, I'm so sorry for what I did to you. I hope not to let you down again. I will do my best. You're getting to be there for you. But what you're seeing is a car or random flowers or things like that, which don't necessarily communicate to you what you want to hear. And a part of that could be his friends have told him, that one, Subai has something big. It will sweep her off her feet and exactly, you know. So I think, in my very humble opinion, and it's friends who also tell you, they bring you other people. Girlfriends nowadays bring you men to seduce you. You know, yes, girlfriends bring men to seduce their fellow friends if they hear of friends being frustrated in marriage. Male friends bring girls, you know, to be able to have sex with the same person. So the truth is, friends do play a really key role in relationships.
Oh, quite interesting. Now, coming back to Titus chapter 2, that talks about us women, us older women, teaching our younger women to love our husbands, to be homemakers, not to be idle talkers. Where is the place of that in the marriage, or as women, as married women? Janet, what's your opinion?
Oh yeah, you just the word of God is true, and it is real, and it is practical. So when the older women are told to teach, they are told to teach because they have walked that path. They know the challenges, they know the joys, they know what happens. So when you're being told to be busy at home,
like ironing from morning to evening, or what?
You see, there are people who are at home, but because you have people to take care of the business in the house,
Oh yeah. Oh.
you just relax. You have reached heaven, and you do not care about anything else.
Ah, okay.
Or you're just there, and you're moving from one house to another, and the thing that's going on is gossip. You know, or your friends come over to your house, you spend the whole day, and you're just gossiping. Now, this is not to print housewives or stay-at-home moms bad, but it happens that when somebody is idle, you misbehave. You know, an idle mind is a devil's workshop. So I think that's one of the things that is encouraged. Be busy. What can you do? You can do your craft. You have hands. You can do something. You can start a business. You can, you know, bake. You can just be busy at home. But again, they are children to raise, and child raising is not easy. So if I don't learn from an older woman, some of these things I'll do a lot of guesswork. I'll mess up. So somebody has to guide me on how to do those things. Then you know even how to love your husband. You would wonder someone to love their husband.
I loved him before I got married.
And then now
Until I got married. Until I got married.
you realize love is more about your mind, more in your mind than in your feelings.
True.
Because feelings can fade away. And unfortunately, feelings can fade away because you go into the marriage thinking, you know, it's going to be very, you know, it's a heavenly experience and everything is flowing. And we'll be walking together, everyone will admire us.
Holding hands.
The rapper has met the truth. Reality has checked in. It is not what I expected.
That's right.
You know, because even the guy had his own expectations. So, yeah, he has expectations. There's a time we were talking with Edna sometimes saying, you know, even your husband has expectations. You cook, you put the food on the table, and he still wants you to put food in the plate. Like, he has two hands. You know? Why do I have to put
Husbands.
So, when you're being told to love your husband, it's do actions that show love. So it's not like, you know, the person suggests that you be all over this guy, kissing him every time, you know, you don't have anything else to do. It's about this guy. No. Of course, those ones are expected. You will do all those things. Bedroom activities have to stay alive. But generally speaking, you have to take care of him. You have to look into his needs because that communicates love. You have to look after your children, your home. So what is the place of that? The place of that is that you as a woman, you have been entrusted with the affairs of your home. You know, who plans the meals? I don't think it's the husband who decides on Monday you're eating this, on Tuesday it's women who decide. So women will decide how that recipe will go. Well, I know there are men who are keen about how their foods are cooked. So find out, how do you like your matumbo, for example? And you know, some people don't like even cooking matumbo because it's smelly. But then how friendship will be lost is because I don't cook matumbo because it's smelly, but then he will go and find a joint where
You know, nowadays there are masks.
wearing in the kitchen. Others will go past. Then he go find a joint where he can eat matumbo and he'll find friendships, and then he starts coming home late and then you start complaining because you didn't make the matumbo. That is what it means, love your husbands. You know, so there are small things that can make the marriage work. Or, you know, make the marriage happy. You know, your marriage might not just break because you didn't cook matumbo, but it might not be as enjoyable.
Oh yeah,
because you refused to cook that smelly food. Because omena stinks for some people, but for others it's okay.
It's a delicacy.
It's a delicacy for others. So if your spouse does not like omena, and you insist on cooking that omena or insist on eating that omena, well, you could still do it, but make sure that you eat it at a time when it's not there. You know, there are people who do that. Or they organize dates with their own friends. I know girls married women, whose husband didn't like a certain meal that they were cooking. And so they'll organize for a lunch date, and they'll call it a date for their meal. And the husband on Thursdays, our wives would hang out and eat this meal that we don't like. And when they meet the four of them, it would be funny. Because we had our date. And we were laughing and we talked about this. And see, even you as a person, you're also happy. You eat your food with somebody who feels it.
That's right.
You do not want to eat food that you enjoy. The other person is not enjoying it.
And you know, the beauty of that is that your friendship with that other lady is also enhanced, and therefore as you go back home, you're refreshed, you're energized to love him better, yeah? So as a married woman, I'm wondering, how do I go about looking for these godly older women who will take me through the how does it go as a woman, as a married woman, how to go about life as a married woman? Jacinta.
How do you go about it? That's a good question.
How do I find friends?
How do I find friends who are older? I think, let me just lay some context. Before we had aunties, we had relatives who used to do this. And I think in my generation, one of the things we complain about is that we lacked that for some reason. We didn't have, I personally can speak for me, we didn't have these older women who held our hand, especially in this journey of marriage. But today I think, I could be wrong, I think your generation is a bit more lucky because even if it's not a person known to you, there are mentoring programs that you can tap into in church or in other places, depending on your values, the one that you connect with, that you can do that. But there could be also, I don't know, as a young girl, I always connected with, especially when I started working with older women, for some reason, I think I was craving that kind of
mentorship.
But yes, today you can do that through the church. The church most churches have that kind of program, particularly in the ladies or the women ministry, where maybe you can identify one older person who you connect with, because it has to be also a dual relationship.
True.
You connect with and you would like to work with. Even in these mentoring programs that are available, depending on your values, you can look at one and see which one, where is it that I can find my feet, where I feel comfortable. I think today you can do that. I know there's a lot of information, there are a lot of programs that you also can do online, but I am happy that the church has started that.
Wow, that's interesting. One of my friends shared an experience that really stayed with me. She called me, we were just talking about, this season of pandemic and everything. And unfortunately, she contracted the virus. She was telling me, the virus is hard enough on you. But now you realize in this pandemic, there is another pandemic. This pandemic puts you in a place where there is a lot of loneliness. You are supposed to be isolated. I mean, it's bad enough that you are sick, but now being isolated puts you in a really bad place. A book I read was talking about lacking close friendships is like taking 15 cigarettes a day. The effect it has on you, the isolation, the loneliness, the frustration, just the opportunity to vent out to other people. Sometimes it's so refreshing, isn't it? It's very refreshing. So in this period, in this season, I think many of us have gotten to that realization that, do I actually have friends? Do I have people I can count on? How do you go about it? How has your experience been, and how do you go about it? Getting real friends and perhaps maintaining them.
That's
Janet. Edna, sorry.
Not a problem. How do you go about getting real friends? I think the first true thing about friendship is it needs time. The test of a friendship is time.
Time,
Before you have taken time to get to know someone and given them a chance to know you as well, it's hard to stand and say that you are the best of friends or you are friends.
True.
I think that's the first true thing about friendship. The second thing about friendship is common values. There must be a common denominator that maintains the friendship. Now, not all common denominators give you long-term friendships. For example, you may have a friend who helps you with studying to get an A. the truth is, beyond school, that person might not be in a position to be your friend.
Oh.
Within the marriage setup, you may have friends who your kids play together. You have play dates.
Yeah.
So when you have play dates, you actually sit down with the children as you look at them and you actually talk about the children.
Yeah.
You realize if you started talking about business with these friends, there may be a problem. Because those are friends. Why?
Yeah, true.
Because they are friends because
Of the season.
your children get to interact with their children and you know them in a certain way. But they're not all encompassing. You get? Because then they are also friends who, many of the friends we have who are really long-term friends are friends we share values with. So then you need to maybe possibly introspect and find out what do I value? Then align with people who value the things you value. Because chances are, if you align with people who value the things you value, the friendship has more life.
That's right.
Is likely to actually stay longer. Then begin to be deliberate and be present. Because you can't have a friend who only visits you and you never visit them and you share values. Give the friendship a chance by doing what? By being present. Take your time as an individual, be present for your friend, and give them a chance to be there for you as well. Your friends can't always tell you their problems and you never tell them anything, you know. So building a friendship has a lot of mutuality and commonality that goes with it. Look for people who you have things in common with and who you share mutual things with. That makes it easy to begin to build a friendship. That would be my tip.
I like that. There's something you said about friendship taking time. I read somewhere that for you to say that you now have a friend, it takes 200 hours for you to say that you have a friend, genuinely. Because you must have gone through the seasons together. Sometimes, you know, just as you said, the seasons. There are people who are happy for you when you're getting married, but now when you're in a low season, I think that is when the true friends come out. And this is a good place to start from. We have a lot to talk about in friendships, and we have a long way to go. Blossoming Marriage Academy we'll be having it in June, and we need you to join us because you're going to get real friends. We can walk with you in marriage. We will share experiences. We will share experiences in raising children, in raising godly altars, in many other areas. We welcome you to join us. The link is at the bottom of the screen. Thank you very much.
And Mercy, just to end on this note, research shows that having friends and interacting, social integration, interacting with people on an everyday basis increases our years.
Life.
We live longer. Yeah. So it's very important. It's a very important aspect, having friends.
Oh, yes. That's interesting.